it is a new day, not in terms of the game, but in real life down here. It got too late. It was past midnight before I finished mucking around with that one last night. So, we're still on day one in the game. Quick reprise of what has happened. Really refreshing myself as much as you if you've had a break between videos, which I'm sure you have done. We have moved our Confederate soldiers slightly forward. We were trying to get around the south here, going up via the Cornwall route, and we had this big block in this very, very empty, open, flat land. Massive problems trying to get through, mainly because of our artillery fire from the Confederate Army wasn't working. But the plan of the Union soldiers of holding this block up north, keeping one side of their wicket defended, allowing guys to play on the offside, didn't work out too badly, except suddenly a hole has appeared, mainly because those nasty Confederate armies played one of their lost order cards, or played two lost order cards, and really did ruin the Union's idea of letting some units come travelling through and then blocking off the area up here. We were a little bit tardy there with the Union soldiers. Have to think about getting those moving quite quickly. They haven't got Grant coming in just yet. It's going to be one of these cards in this pack up here. When it happens, they will then get 3 dice, 3 orders to be able to use. Let's get ourselves going then with the Confederate armies 4 order dice, and they have got 1, 2, 4 and a 6. Hopefully the battery will last a little bit longer in this camera today. So 1 dice at 1 is going to be a card. They're going to get a morale check. Could be good if we get squashing around here to get some more pressure on here, surrounding people using that morale card. A 2 is a fire order, a move and a leader order. I think we're going to go in here with a couple of units. We didn't want to get this cavalry moving too fast, but I think we're going to try and get some of this lot moving. So with a 2 border, we can move 2 units through because there's no enemy in here for 1 order. So all these guys can come through. They go as halves into there, and they can move an additional space because they're cavalry and get them up to there. That is the 1 order used. Apologies, just had another coughing fit. What we are going to be doing is moving with our first order. We got these guys moving up here with the order move, and with our leader order, he counts as a half movement into there, and he can bring another unit through with him into here, fulfilling 1.5 of the 2 points that we're allowed to get across this border. We can't bring the second one through. He's still on the hill. That reminds us of that. And we have our fire order that we can also use here. Where are we going to fire into? I quite like the idea of knocking this guy. If we fire into here, we're only going to be moving him back up to here and away from this little surround that we've got, where we could use our morale check card. So instead, let them use a move order if they want to, if they can do that. We'll just fire somewhere else. And I'm thinking that quite a lot of guys in Shiloh Church here, we reduce the pressure down here. One of these units in here, it doesn't matter if it comes from here or here, can fire into there with 1 dice, looking at 5s and 6s to hit. And once again, the Confederate Army's artillery completely fail. So, blue dice. The blues get 2, a 6 and a 4. The 6 will be moved down to a 1 because there's no leader. So we can take another card. It's a hold card. Can cancel retreats from areas. That's quite good as a defensive card for making the opposition move back if they were in fact successful or semi-successful. And we have a movement order. I'm reluctant to move this guy back. I know he's going to get bashed quite badly by these surrounding units, but we want to get some units up into here to start protecting this place. We've only got the 1 guy here, and and I think move him onto the hills before the Confederates get up there. I'll put a green marker on there to remind us that we have got a hill, and we got over to the Greys' second move of this morning. Their 4 dice is a 6, 2 3s and a 4. Leader, 1 move and 2 artillery fires. Now, I'm being quite speculative here. I have got absolutely no idea if it's going to be this. We could use the leader to draw a card instead, and maybe that's an artillery boost to try and give ourselves a big boost on these 2 artilleries. We've been completely useless in the whole of this game so far. Or we could use the leader order to move units in. We haven't got to worry too much about the end of the day, so I think we can take our time and make a nice slow progress forward. In that case, we're going to use the order to move 1 unit forward into here. That's the order dice, and then we can use the leader's order from the 2 guys that are in here and move them across the border as well into here. It would leave this place vulnerable though. It would leave this guy on his own. Oh, let's double think that one. Let's instead move these guys forward. It's a border value of 1 here. So we can only move 1 guy forward with 1 order, but we're bulking up this middle section to allow our press to come through. That's both the orders used up. Apart from now, we have the 2 fire dice, and we are going to fire in here. We're going to fire our 2 artillery units, 1 from this region, 1 from that region. 5s and 6s, and we've got a hit finally. That's probably the first time that the artillery's worked for the Confederates. So 1 dice, 1 to 5. Oh, a 6 is damage. We have damaged that unit. It's worked for the first time, and it's worked nicely. So this veteran Union soldier has now been damaged. That's pretty damn good. Let's think about the blues. They're going to get 2 dice. Not a lot else we can do with cards to help them out at this stage. 2 5s, that's 2 movements. That is probably as good as the Union could have asked for. There's no council order cards on the Confederate side. So, if we have an empty region here without enemies, we can move 2 units through for 1 order. And we can move 2 more units through to here or to here. We can't split them apart. Let's move them due south and grab this hill top again. Mark it. Remember, we got some extra defensive values there. That's the end of the Union turn. On to the Confederate armies go with their 4 dice. I seem to have misplaced one. Oh, it's over there. Right. And 2 5s, which are going to be movements. 6 would be a leader order, and the 3 is going to be a fire with their artillery. Let me have a little think and a slurp of coffee. Okay, we're back. We've had a decision made. We're going to use our artillery to fire into this one here, buoyed by the success last time. Another good dice roll would be welcome, and it wasn't a good dice roll. The artillery has failed, but we're going to use our 2 movement orders. We can move this guy into here for 1, and this guy in here for 1. Because it's a 1-2 border, means if it's got a enemy in there, only 1 unit can be moved per order. It does leave us with 1 leader order, which we're going to think about after we've rolled these dice, because you can do them in any order you like. So the first thing that happens is these Union soldiers defend at a 4, 5 or 6 because they're defending on a hill. It's a veteran. He gets 3 dice. And he's missed them all. Oh! That's handy for the Confederates. They get 2 regular infantry in here. 1, 2. They get 2 dice each. That's 4 dice, looking at 5s and 6s for hits. 2 hits, 5s and 6s. They've hit. Let's have a check on the casualties. It's going to be 1 damage and 1 retreat. Well, that works out nicely because you can't retreat after damage because He's damaged, he's destroyed. He goes. That means they've got a lot of damage done to the Union soldiers, and expensive units as well. Having lost 2 veteran infantry so far and a cavalry. The Confederates are up on top of this hill. They're moving around the board nicely now. That slow progress of trying to get through, it was sticky, it was testy, it was annoying, but they're now starting to make progress through, and we do yet still have one leader dice that we can roll here. And we might as well just move. I think we're going to move our general forward up into the action on top of the hill, because if he gets a useful card again for him, as a leader's order, if he's on his own down here, he won't be able to use it. That's why we're going to do that. Let me think about the blues. We've got 2 blue dice. They're going to have to think seriously about running units as fast as we can up here, but not leaving it too empty. Decisions. 2 movement orders on 4s. There's nothing that can be done to cancel. So they have extra retreat, extra artillery, morale checks. Oof. I think we're going to have to move back from Shiloh Church. It's a 1 border here and a 1 border there, as in they're unmarked, so only 1 unit can go through on that movement order. We don't want to leave this place too empty. We've got to think about moving units back this way. Being as though this is a 2-1 area, we can move 2 units across. It's going to leave a hole there, but I think if we move the veteran back, protect him slightly as one of our orders, and one of the damaged infantry. That's one of our 2 movements. The second movement order would be to move these guys back into this place. And again, if we take the veteran into here and 1 other infantry, a strong, solid infantry this time, we've got fairly reasonable bases now across all of this border. Fractionally weaker up there, but they're not facing much opposition. Stronger in this heartland area here. The Confederates will now get 4 dice. 6, 5, 4, 3. That's going to be a leader. Handy that we moved our leader in the first place. The 5 and the 4 will be movements, and the 3 would be a fire with our abstract artillery. I think we might play one of our extra cards as well this time. Shall we? I'm wary about pushing too hard too soon down south. I think what we might be doing is using our leader as a movement, and our 2 movements to move these units forward to try and not leave ourselves too empty, because Shiloh Church is actually quite strong at this stage. If Shiloh Church attacked back through, they've got some strength there, some, not lots, but some. So a movement order would be to move this guy here, which would be 1 order into there. We can do a second movement order. Again, we can go across 2 units into this boundary, or 1 unit across on this boundary. I think we're going to do that. That's a second movement order. And we can use a leader's order to move a guy from Johnston's area, move him up onto the hill as well. So we've got a nice crash going this way. Apart from the units that are already there, which is a veteran and a regular infantry up on this hill, as well as 1 down at the bottom of the hill, we are now trying to form a pincer movement, sort of. Was there a fire order as well? Or was that it? Let me double check the video to see whether I've misplaced one of my dice. Yes, there was an extra fire order. I'm sure that you'd remember that better than I did. So we're going to fire one of these artilleries abstractly into Shiloh Church. 5s or 6s, and they miss again. Back to the good old cavalry of the Union, not the Union side, the Confederate side. So, Union side now, getting myself all confused. Their 2 dice, they get to roll for their orders. They have a 4 and a 2. 1 will be movement, 1 will be fire. So, I think this area does look fractionally weak. They could come through an attack and try to have some kind of pushback, but if the more success that they would have, the more holes they're going to leave further up. So we're not going to move in for an attack, though we do have some council order cards and some retreat cards, some hold cards and some retreat cards that could be useful if they were going to attack, but they're just not strong enough yet until Grant returns. Whenever that comes in this pack, we're 1 dice short of the biscuit here. So let's move 1 more unit now from here. We're going to get the big, strong veteran unit as a single movement up to there. That counts as 1 move, 1 of the 2 we could move. There's no reason to suppose we couldn't move him in there as well, but we're not sure how vulnerable this place is going to be, so we're going to keep him there in reserve. And we do have a fire order. We can boost up our fire if we want to with our artillery card, and I think just to try to slow down these 2 horses that are here coming through, the Blues are going to play their artillery card. It's going to mean that they fire 2 dice rather than 1 into this region. Looking at 5s and 6s, can the Union artillery be better than the Confederate artillery? They can be. They've got 1 hit. That's nice. Now they're both damaged units, those horses in there, and only 1 of them has to retreat. That's the result of that. It will go back on its shortest route. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter which way it goes back. I think we're going to keep him this side of the river. That is the end of that card. We wouldn't have minded doing some damage rather than doing the hit, because obviously we would have managed to eliminate 1 of those units, but it didn't work out that way, and it's quite hard to eliminate with artillery. Their elimination roll or damage roll is just at a 6 rather than the 4 to 6 of the infantry would be doing. So back over to the Confederate soldiers. Their 4 dice, their orders. Oh, 3 6s and a 5. That gives them quite a lot of latitude. 3 6s clearly being leaders, and a 5 being a movement. That's going to need some thinking about. Give me a second.